welcome back. We got a fun show today, so I hope you didn't overdo it on fast food day yesterday and you've recovered nicely. November 17th, it's a first timer for me. We're making baklava for National Baklava Day. Now baklava is that phyllo dough and nut mixture, layered. It's tons and tons of layers of phyllo dough, and it just makes this great little pastry thing. I'm sure you all have tried it or seen it or whatever. Lots of stuff in this one today. Not too much, but enough. And a bunch of different steps. So we're going to take our time and get started with this. First thing you're going to do is, well, I'm going to show you in just a second what you need for this. But take your 3 sticks of butter that I'm going to tell you need and start melting that in a pot, okay? Be right back. Okay, for our baklava today, you'll need 1 16-ounce package of phyllo dough and 3 sticks of butter. For the filling, you'll need 4 cups of chopped walnuts, a half a cup of sugar, 4 tablespoons of melted butter, 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, the zest of 1 lemon and 1 orange, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. For the syrup, you'll need half a cup of sugar, 3/4 cups of honey, 3/4 cups of water, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, the juice of half a lemon, and a 1/4 cup of Grand Marnier. Okay, so we got our butter melted. First thing we're going to do is make our filling, our nut filling for this, okay? So you take your walnuts, your chopped walnuts, just put them through a food processor, okay? I'm actually going to do the butter last. I'm going to add to that my sugar, my cinnamon, my salt, my orange zest, and my lemon zest, okay? And we're just going to mix this all together. Now I decided with this recipe to add, which you'll find later, in the glaze, to add some Grand Marnier to that. So that's going to kick up our orange flavor just a little bit more and give us a little boozy kick in that. I hope. I don't know. I'm just taking my time figuring this out, okay, as I go, and just making little subtle changes here and there. Now the other thing is too, I'm using just walnuts for this, which is, I guess, the traditional way for most of the recipes I've seen. It's also the most cost effective since walnuts tend to be the cheapest out of all the nuts, and you can get those at a better price than you can if you want to do pistachios or whatever. It's going to be a lot more expensive. So you can do a mix of it also. You can add some pistachios. I'm just doing the straight walnuts today for the first time, and then I'll get more creative later, and then when I see nuts are on sale, maybe I'll stock up. Alrighty, so to that I'm going to add my melted butter, okay? Not the one from the pot. This is just the half a stick that I'm melting, and I'm just going to mix this all together until it's all incorporated and we have this nice walnut mixture, okay? We have our nut mixture, just leave that off to the side. Now's where the fun begins, the tedious part of this thing, which is the layering. Now, I know, 3 sticks of butter plus you put butter in there. This thing has a ton of butter in it, I know. Don't say, oh my god, it's so unhealthy, I can't believe how much butter. It is what it is, it's baklava. So here's your pot of melted butter. Get a pastry brush, okay, and the first thing you're going to do is butter your pan here, which is a 9 by 13. Okay, and then you're going to take your phyllo dough sheets. They're really thin, but they kind of stick together, so you kind of want to make sure you only get 1 sheet at a time, okay? They're very flimsy, and the trick with these is you want to make sure that in between working with them, because now what you have to do is butter this every single layer. You have to put more butter, okay? So you just kind of want to fit that into your pan there, okay? Make sure you really fill up the bottom here, okay? And keep it covered with a damp towel in between. So now you put that first phyllo sheet down. Butter. Butter. It may seem like a little tricky to work with at first, but you'll get the hang of it. Like I said, it's very delicate phyllo dough, and especially when it starts to dry out, it's going to become even harder to work with. So you want to make sure you keep it kind of covered to make sure that the layers don't get all dried out as you're trying to work with them. Okay? And you just butter that sheet. Okay, first sheet down. Take another sheet. Do the same thing, okay? One sheet. Make sure you got one. One sheet. It may look like one, sometimes it's two. One sheet. Put that now on top of that, okay? And you just keep doing that. First, we're going to do 8 layers. So that's layer number 2, okay? Keep count. 8 layers for the bottom. So there's our first 8 layers. Buttered every one of them in between, okay? Now you're going to take about 3/4 of a cup, I'm using a little quarter measuring thing here. 3/4 of a cup of your nut filling. You're going to spread on the top of this first 8 sheet layer of your buttered phyllo, okay? So just kind of spread that out. Okay, make sure you get that in there. And now you continue on with your buttering and your layering. So what you're going to do is the next layer is going to be 6 sheets of phyllo dough. Same thing. Sheet of phyllo, butter, phyllo, butter, phyllo, butter. 6 sheets is your next layer, and then we're going to come back and add some more nuts. Okay, you got that? So 8 for the first one. 3/4 cup nuts, 6 layers of phyllo next. Be right back. Now there's layer number 2, which is 6 sheets. So remember, 8 sheet. I know I keep saying it over and over again. I'm just reading. You might want to get a pen and paper and just kind of keep track of your layers. That's what I'm doing, because if somebody starts to talk to you, it totally throws off where you were. 8 sheets, nut layer. 6 sheets. Now we're going to put our second nut layer. Then we're going to do 6 sheets, 6 sheets. You need 1 layer of 8, 4 layers of 6, 1 layer of 8. Nuts in between each. Butter the hell out of it. Okay, you got that? 8, 6, 6, 6, 6, 8. Ready for the oven. See where we're getting ready to put this one in. Finally, we're all done with the layering of this thing. I've never used so much butter for one dish in my life. Just saying. I know how good this is going to be, but man, oh man. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut. You got to cut this before you bake it, okay? So I'm going to cut a couple strips. We're going to do this fancy diamond pattern, okay? So I'm going to try to do it as evenly as possible. Okay, you don't even have to, I mean, you can cut it, you know, this way and that way. You don't have to necessarily do a diamond pattern. You can just cut it straight across. You know what I mean? But just try to do it the best you can. Use a very sharp knife and don't drag. You know, kind of do a chopping motion until you make your grooves, and then you can go back just to make sure that you sliced it all the way down to the bottom, okay? This one I think I'm going to do, because I'm actually doing 2 of them. This one I think I'm going to do straight away. Maybe. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just do squares on this one. So for the other one, I'll do the diamond. And this one, I'll just do squares. But like I said, just make sure you're using like a back and forth motion. Don't drag. You want to cut through, but you want this to all kind of stay together. Alright? Okay, so like I said, we have 2. Here's our diamond pattern, and here's just our square pattern. Okay, you can do either one, whichever floats your boat. Into a 350 oven, 45 to 50 minutes till it's nice and golden brown on top. In the meantime, you got to get your syrup ready, because that you got to cook for a couple minutes and then you got to let it cool down. The trick with that is you have to take that cooled down syrup as soon as this thing comes out of the oven. When this pan is scorching hot and you pull it out, you have to pour that thing in here, go and sizzle it. That's when you put that liquid on. And then you let it sit for a whole bunch of hours. Then you go have dinner and you go do something else and you leave them to cool and you come back later and baklava. Alrighty, so into our oven. We'll see in a little bit. We'll see when it's time to give us the sizzle with the syrup. The sizzle syrup. Look at that. I'm telling you, we'll be back when we're going to add the sizzle syrup, and we haven't even made the sizzle syrup, okay? So what you're going to do in this saucepan here, take all your syrup ingredients, which is your water, You put this on a medium heat here. Your water, your sugar, your lemon juice, your, let's see what we got here, if I remember, your vanilla, your honey, okay, and then my little addition to this is booze. Grand Marnier, okay? I took out some of the water in this recipe. If you don't want to put the booze in, you can just use the full cup of water. I just decided to use 3/4 cup of water and a 1/4 cup of Grand Marnier just to give it a little bit more of that orange kick. You're just going to cook this for about 5 minutes until the sugar all dissolves and you just have a nice liquid here, and then you're just going to leave it to cool down, okay? And that's it. Okay, as always with baking, keep your eye on it. I just peeked on them and these look pretty much done, and it's about 10 minutes ahead of schedule. So, but they said to wait till they're this golden brown, and look at those look perfect, right? So take your 2 pans out. Those are definitely done. I don't want to burn them. And then right away your sizzle syrup. Just pour that right on top. Boy, they ain't kidding. Sizzle syrup, they ain't kidding. Just cover your stuff here. It's all going to soak right in. I'm assuming that's what happens. Okay. So this is going to get all syrupy and wow. Okay. So that's one. And then we'll do the other one. Sizzle, sizzle. There's the sizzle. And then what you do is just let them sit here. Wait till they come to room temperature, then you're just going to cover them with a kitchen towel at least 6 hours. Overnight's even better. But we'll be back in about 6 hours to try a piece of these. Alrighty? That's why you want to do these early in the morning or the night before. But they look fantastic, and I've never made baklava before, and I'm super excited about this one. And we'll see you later for the tasting. Alrighty? I'm a little early. I should have waited a little longer, but I don't care. I want to try it. Look. I love putting it up close so you can see. Looks fantastic. Smells fantastic. Oh, God. It is fantastic. It's not hard. I don't want to say it's a hard project to do. It's just very time consuming doing each layer of the phyllo dough and buttering each layer, butter layer, and doing, 8, 6, 6, 6, 6, 8 in between. It's very time consuming, and it's 3 sticks of butter. So you definitely don't want to eat this whole tray. Alrighty, baklava day, everybody. Make this one. I say it every day, I know. Make this one just once, just to try it and see what you think for yourself. I think it's fantastic. It's really one of the tastiest I've ever tasted, and not just because I made it. Alrighty, we'll see you tomorrow, everybody.